Hello and welcome to Car Facts. My name is Victoria and in today's video I will be talking about the Ford Cortina. I hope that you enjoy this video. The Ford Cortina, just hearing the name takes us back to a time when motoring was simple, stylish, and utterly practical. Launched in 1962, the Cortina was designed to be the ultimate family car, offering comfort, performance, and affordability. But what started as a humble sedan soon became a legend on roads around the world. Did you know the name Cortina was inspired by the Italian ski resort Cortina d'Ampezzo? Ford wanted something that sounded classy and European, and boy, did they nail it. The Cortina became a household name, selling over 4.3 million units across its 5 generations. But behind those numbers lies a story of innovation, reinvention, and a bit of quirky charm that still makes car enthusiasts smile today. Let's take a drive back to 1962, the year the Mark I Cortina rolled off the production line. Originally called the Console Cortina, this little beauty was an instant hit. With its lightweight body, practical design, and an engine that could get the job done, the Cortina ticked all the boxes. It was available as a 2-door or 4-door sedan, and there was even a station wagon for those who needed extra space for the family dog. One of the coolest features of the Mark I was its simplicity. No frills, no fuss, just a dependable car you could count on. And here's a fun fact. The Cortina was one of the first cars to popularize metallic paint finishes, giving it a touch of flair for those who wanted to stand out. By 1966, Ford knew they had to step up their game. Enter the Mark II Cortina, a sleeker, wider, and more modern take on the original. It was built to compete with the likes of the Vauxhall Viva and the Hillman Minx, and boy, did it hold its own. The Mark II brought new engine options, including the punchy 1600E, which combined performance and luxury in a way that was rare for family cars of its time. The 1600E had a top speed of around 95 miles per hour, which was pretty impressive back then. And let's not forget those sporty round dials and wood veneer dashboard, which gave drivers a little taste of the high life. In fact, the 1600E was so beloved that it became the go-to car for young professionals in the late 60s. The Mark III arrived in 1970, and this is where things got a little groovy. Dubbed the Coke Bottle Cortina because of its curvy silhouette, this model was all about style. Ford took inspiration from American car designs, and it showed. The Mark III also marked a shift towards more powerful engines and better suspension, making it a joy to drive. But not everything was smooth sailing. Early models were plagued with reliability issues, leading to some unfavorable headlines. However, Ford quickly sorted out the problems, and the Mark III went on to become one of the best-selling cars of the decade. Here's a quirky tidbit. In South Africa, the Mark III was marketed as the Big Six because of its larger engine options. Then came the Mark IV in 1976. By now, the Cortina was an established icon, and Ford knew they had to keep the momentum going. The Mark IV wasn't as flashy as its predecessor, but it was practical, reliable, and packed with modern features. It was built with aerodynamics in mind, boasting a more angular design that helped it cut through the air more efficiently. And guess what? The Mark IV became a massive hit with the police forces across the UK. Why? Because it was fast, sturdy, and surprisingly easy to maintain. It's said that criminals feared the sight of a Mark IV Cortina with its blue lights flashing in their rear-view mirrors. Talk about a car that could chase down the bad guys. Finally, we have the Mark V, also known as the Cortina 80, which debuted in 1979. This was the swan song for the Cortina, and Ford made sure it went out with a bang. The Mark V featured improved engines, better fuel economy, and a range of trims that catered to everyone from budget buyers to those who wanted a bit of luxury. Despite the rise of competitors like the Vauxhall Cavalier, the Cortina remained a bestseller throughout its production run. Did you know that at one point in the early 80s, 1 in every 6 cars sold in the UK was a Cortina? That's the kind of domination we're talking about. Of course, no story about the Cortina would be complete without mentioning its impact on motorsport. The Lotus Cortina, a high-performance version of the Mark I and Mark II models, was a beast on the track. Developed in collaboration with Lotus Cars, this little racer could hit 108 miles per hour and was a favorite among rally drivers. It won countless races and even took home the British Saloon Car Championship in 1964. The Lotus Cortina wasn't just fast. It was also incredibly nimble, thanks to its lightweight construction and finely tuned suspension. Today, it's a highly sought-after classic, with some models fetching eye-watering prices at auctions. So, why does the Ford Cortina still hold a special place in our hearts? Maybe it's because it was a car for the people, affordable, dependable, and easy to love. Or maybe it's the way it evolved with the times, adapting to the changing tastes and needs of drivers across the globe. The Cortina wasn't just a car. It was a part of the family, a trusty companion on road trips, and a symbol of an era when cars were built with character. Even today, you'll find enthusiasts lovingly restoring Cortinas and taking them to classic car shows, where they're greeted with smiles and stories from those who remember owning one. Before we wrap up, here's a fun challenge. If you ever spot a Cortina on the road, take a moment to appreciate the history it carries. Think about the countless school runs, seaside holidays, and Sunday drives it must have seen. And if you're lucky enough to own one, consider yourself part of a special club of car lovers who understand what makes the Cortina so unique. It's more than just metal and wheels. It's a time machine that connects us to a simpler, happier time. That brings us to the end of our journey through the story of the Ford Cortina. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're as fascinated by classic cars as we are, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more automotive tales and trivia. Leave a comment below and tell us your favorite Cortina memory, whether it's one you owned, a ride you took as a kid, or just a model you admire. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Drive safe, and happy motoring!